Welcome everyone to the Learning Tube. This is Ava, and as always, we have an exciting session planned for you today. Be sure to join the Learning Tube Facebook group here you see on the screen, and also subscribe to the Learning Tube YouTube channel where you can see replays of past sessions and the session that we're going to have today. Let me know who got the text message. Give me a T. Did you get the text message? We just want to make sure that people are getting the text messages that may be sent out or that are usually sent out 10 minutes before the session begins. Did you get the text message? Give me a T. T. Did you get the text message? All right. So always make sure that you check. We have different ways of reminding you, whether it be via text, email, and there's a post that goes in the Facebook group as well. So we definitely try to make sure that you're aware of these sessions so that you can head on over and join and see what interesting things you can learn that you can use in your online business to just be bigger and better. All right. So be sure to look out for those reminders. Now, if you got the text message, you would see that today is all about Google Forms, the basics basically of Google Forms. Now, where are my Google users? Do you use Google applications like Docs, Sheets, Slides? Do you guys use those things? Are my Google users here? Michelle says she loves Google Suite. I'm an avid Google user. I'm Google. The way I'm Google, even my phone is Google. I have a Google Pixel. What is it? I don't even remember. One of those. I think it's a 6A or one of those series. I'm all about Google, Google, Google. Google is the best. I'm not gonna go into a war right now with the Apple users. Google is the best. All right. So I'm doing the presentation. So we're going with what I say. Google is the best, right? Hey Google. Oh, I have to be careful. That's what I say when I'm when I'm starting my Google version of Siri. So please don't talk, phone. All right, so we're going to talk about Google Forms. And it's a free application that's linked to the Google Suite, and you're able to use it once you have a Gmail email address. So Google Forms is linked to Google Drive. So once you have a Gmail email address, you're able to go to Google /drive. This is a long way. I'm already signed in. So when I go to Drive, it's just going to drop me into Google. So google.com /drive. And it takes you into your Google Drive. This is my Google Drive. I'm automatically signed in. But to sign in, all you need to use is your regular Gmail email address and your regular Gmail password. So it's nothing new. Once you have a Gmail email address, you can access Google Drive quite easily. Now, to get access to docs and slides and all those things you heard me talk about, if you're an avid Google user, this is not new to you. But if it's new to you, you just click on new and you have docs, which is like Microsoft Word. You have sheets, which is like Microsoft Excel. You have slides, which is like Microsoft PowerPoint. And forms is what we're going to be talking about today, and some of the functionality that it allows you for free. Who likes free? Give me an F. Who are the free? Free? Are we all about free? Free and something that we can use to better our business, right? So F, free, yes, free. Yeah, we're all about free. Once we're able to use it wisely, free is always good. But remember, not everything can be for free, but we love when we can get free aspects. So Google is a powerful tool that can be used for many different things. And a lot of people forget that you can use this a lot in your business. And we're going to talk about some of these things. Now, some of you may be new to Google Forms and not be aware of how to even create a form. So we're going to start off with that before I tell you some of the hidden secrets and some features that you may not be using in Google Forms, and it can make you be much more efficient. All right. So let's see. So I love extensions. Who have seen my presentations that I've done on Google Chrome extensions? Give me an E, extensions. Have you seen any of my presentations on Google Chrome extensions? Yes, some of you have seen it. Now, I have an extension here called Google Docs Quick Create. See me hover on it right here on my extension bar, and it allows me to easily jump into creating a Google form. So instead of clicking on new, as I showed you here, and then coming to forms and then clicking on it, I can simply just open a new tab in my Google Chrome browser, because what else would I use? I'm a Google user. And then I just come here and I click and I just go to new form. I don't need to sign into Google Drive. I don't need to do all those extra stuff. I have that extension that I used called Google Docs Quick Create, and you'll find it in the web store, the Chrome web store, if you want to check it out. All right. So if you have not seen that replay, it's on the replay page. I've done several Learning Tube sessions on Google Chrome extension, so you can check that out. And it's also on the Learning Tube YouTube channel. So you just go to the YouTube channel, go to videos, and you can look through all the different videos that are here. I'm sure we can encounter some of those extensions just waiting for us. Here is one about AI Magic, supercharge your Google Chrome with these extensions, and many other extensions that have been done. So you can check those out when you get the time. So a Google form. Now you saw me click on new and I went to Google form, and every form has to have a title. You have to title your form. You put a description for your form, and then these forms have questions on them. So that's basically the gist of a Google form. So if you wanted to maybe call this form, let's call it feedback. Let's say summit feedback. Who was at the AI summit that we had recently? The AI Impact Summit. Who was at that summit? So let's say I'm calling this summit feedback. So what would be the purpose of this particular form? Because each form has to have a purpose. What would be the purpose of it? If I'm calling it summit feedback, what would I want to know about the summit from those who were there? What would I want to know? What would I want to know? Let me see what you're typing in there. So you're there. All right. So Claudia, you missed it. Oh my gosh. Recordings are available, but at a cost if you really want to check it out. Trust me, it's worth it. All right. So I want to know the top takeaways. Thank you, Lisa. Top takeaways. Want to know what tools were covered. All right. Did you learn something new? Great, great, great. Right? A lot of feedback. So a form is an easy way to get feedback. Do some sort of survey quite easily. And it allows you to be able to record the data. All right. So I have a question here. Patty, you're saying, can you get to forms from Google Hamburger when you're in your Gmail? I'm not sure. But usually with Google, they allow you many ways to get to their application. So the way I showed you, that's just one way you can get to forms. There are many other ways. So you can check it out and see. So I've called this summit feedback. So I could say that this form is to gather feedback about the AI Impact Summit held in July 2024. All right. It's good for your form to have a description. Notice here I have some formatting features available for me. So formatting means you change the appearance of whatever you want, your text. So I can bold, I could use the italic feature. I'm just using that part to show you. I could underline if I want. I could include a link. This is the universal link icon right here. So anything that you want to be turned into a link, meaning suppose feedback here, I wanted persons to be able to click on the word feedback and it take them somewhere else. I could highlight the word feedback, click link, and then here I would attach a link to it. So suppose I wanted feedback to lead to, just not a good example, but let's say I wanted to lead me to the Learning Tube YouTube channel. I'd put that link here, click OK, and whenever anybody opens this form and click on feedback, it will take them to the Learning Tube channel, for lack of a better example. All right. So you're going to have questions that you can add to the form. Many questions that you can add and variety of questions to add. Now, if you're not sure what kind of questions you want to put in a survey or feedback or anything, what can help us to give us ideas? Let me think. Put on your thinking cap. What have we all been using today to help us easily come up with ideas for different things? What have we been using? We can use AI. Yes, we're going to use AI. I see some people saying chat GPT. Remember that that's not the only AI tool out there. That's one of the most common ones that persons know about, but we can use AI, an AI tool to help us. So Michelle says perplexity. There are many different AI tools that we could use. All right, I'm going to use the one that most of you are used to the chat GPT, and I've already put what question I would ask it. So I opened chat GPT and I said, hey, chat GPT, create 5 questions to be used on a form to get feedback from attendees on a summit called AI Impact Summit. So the only reason I did this is just to give me ideas of what I may want to survey people on. Suppose I couldn't think of questions for myself. I am able to use this particular AI tool to get suggestions. So here you see it say, how would you rate the overall quality of the AI Impact Summit? So what I could simply do, old-fashioned way, yes, but it's one way to use it. I can copy my question and I'm going to come here. I'll leave the part here, come back to my form. And here where it says untitled question, I'm going to click here. I'm going to drop in the question and I can put the number 1 as well, right? So as I said, there are many ways that you can display your question type. So here it allows you to choose the question type. So you have a short answer question, as self-explanatory short answer, paragraph allowing persons to write more, multiple choice allowing more than one choice to be chosen. Multiple, there are many choices and one can be chosen. Checkbox, which you have different options and you can choose more than one. You have drop down, file upload, all these different ones. So for the one that I showed you here, let me see who's thinking, which one would I use for it? Which would be the better type of question type to use for this? What would you want them to be able to do? So it says excellent, good, fair, poor. So this is the kind of question. So coming back here, which one of these would I choose? Short answer, paragraph, multiple choice? Put the letter that starts. So S for short answer, P for paragraph, M for multiple choice, C for checkbox. Which one would I use? All right, so I see drop down. I could have used drop down, yes. But which one is the most common one that people would use? Which one is the most common one? Because we're allowing one choice, guys. Nobody's gonna say it's fair, good, okay, all at the same time. Remember, the checkbox allows you to be able to choose more than one choice. So if I want to find out what you thought of it, I won't allow you to say it was excellent, good, fair, and poor. You can't say all of those at the same time. So multiple choice is the better option there because for the checkbox allows you to choose all of them or even one. All right. So you don't want the person to be able to choose all of the options if it's only one that you want in this situation. All right. So multiple choice is best here. So I'm going to also name my form file here. So this is the title for the form, but you also want to name your form so you can find the file name for the form. And what it does, if this whatever text is here, if you click this, it will automatically drop it in. If you don't want this to be the name, then you can adjust it here by clicking on it and you can put AI Impact Summit if you want it to be more detailed for your file name itself. Right, so we are going to choose multiple choice. So let me come back here. So multiple choice. And here it says option 1. What was the first option? Now, for me to be able to see this easily to type, what I'm going to do, I don't know if some of you know this feature, you can drag a tab out of your existing window and make it a window by itself. So I can hold down on this chat GPT tab and drag it, hold on my left mouse button and drag it off, and I've made it its own window. The reason I did this, I want to set up my screen in a way where I can see what's on this tab and type from it or copy from it. So I'm gonna restore down this so that I'm able to see what I'm doing right here. Right. So let me just get some stuff out of the way. So the first option is excellent. So I can type it or I can copy it. So excellent. Am I spelling excellent correctly? Yes. And to get another option, it simply comes up automatically when I click below it. Notice that it filled in good. It's using its knowledge and saying, if you wrote excellent, maybe good is the other one. So I click in. You notice it's doing it by itself. So based on the responses, sometimes it will give you some suggestions based on what it thinks you want, based on what you put originally. All right. So it so happened that it was able to fill this in for me quite easily because it saw the type of question. So yes, forms, it's intelligent like that. So allow it to do its thing. If you didn't want that, you would just simply come and delete what's there and type in what you want. But I did want the good, right? So that's the first question. It's a multiple choice question for my feedback. Now look on the other options that are here, I can copy this question. So if here I have a copy icon, so if I want to make a duplicate of the same question and have it as a second question and make adjustments, I can delete the question, and I can also make this question a required question. What that means is that people have to put a choice for this question in order to move on to another one. So I like to make my questions required questions. Now, the next one is not a multiple choice. You say it said, which session or speaker did you find most impactful? Now, we know that for the AI Impact Summit, we only had one speaker, Alicia. So for this one, we would just leave it at which session. Remember, we can edit the questions that ChatGPT gave us if they don't fit in. All right, so there's an app that would put a quiz in a form, but it has too many glitches. Do you know of another app that can be used? There are many quiz apps, Karen. So just search for quiz. And there even is an AI quiz. It's called, there's an AI quiz maker that I've used in the past. Let me show you. Remember, this is all about Google Forms, because remember, we have multiple ways of doing things. So, quiz maker. Remember, know that there are many different ways to do many different things. So I love for persons to have options. Don't just rely on one thing. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat for you to check it out. For those who want to check it out, it is an AI quiz maker. But today's session is all about Google Forms and how you can use some of the features here, right? You can check out that quiz maker, AI quiz maker. Back here. So let me reduce this and let's look at the next question. So it said, which session. So we know that for this one, we're going to say which session. What kind of question will this be? So I'm going to duplicate it, but I'm not going to do multiple choice. What kind of question would this be? Question type. So I'm saying, which session did you find most impactful or insightful, and why? So look at the options. Which one would I choose? Give me the letter that it starts with. So it's a short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, file upload. What is it? What is it? What is it? Which one? So S, P, M, C, D, which one? So I see people say S, but guess what? Suppose you really wanted to tell me a lot. You're telling me, impactful or insightful, and why? Remember, you're telling me a lot of things. You're telling me the session. You're telling me that it's most impactful or insightful, and why. Now, Deborah, you aren't able to use multiple question types on the same question. So you can only choose one. So in this case, there can only be one. So which is the one? I see a lot of people getting it P, paragraph, because you're going to allow them to write a lot. It allows you, see here, longer text. Now, even if I didn't tell you that paragraph allows you longer text, from you saw an option that says short answer, you're going to know that paragraph allows you more. And how else would you know that paragraph allows you more? What do you see beside each question type? You see the icon? Notice these lines? So it shows 2 lines. It's not definitely saying it's only 2 lines, but you notice paragraph shows you more lines. So that lets you know that you are able to write more. Now, one of the features that you can use in a form that a lot of persons may not be aware of is one called response validation. So that's one of the first features we're going to look at, response validation. And you usually see it in these 3 dots right here. So let me come over here, right here. How many of you who have created forms, have you gone to this section here? Remember, anytime you see 3 dots, whether they are vertical or horizontal, they usually allow you more options. All right, so Karen, you have gone there, perfect. So what response validation allows you to do is specify what the answers can be, whether it's a character length, the type of number, different things. Now, for paragraph, based on the type of question I'm asking, it only allows us 2 options, length and regular expression. Most of us just use length. You can explore regular expression and see what it's all about. Now, in the length area, once you choose length, it has minimum character amount or maximum character amount. So depending on what you choose, it's a maximum is saying how many characters the person can enter for their answer, and minimum character is telling you the least number that they can enter. All right, so depending on which one you choose, have to be aware of what you're doing so that you don't impact what they're going to enter incorrectly. All right, so No, you have not used it, Natalie. Deborah didn't know what it was for. So yes, it allows you to restrict the kind of responses you get, because for those who have used forms, have you gotten some responses like, what? I didn't want that, or I didn't want that kind of number. I wanted this. So you can force the person entering the data to put in certain things. And if you don't want the person to write too long, who has seen some feedback that's like, oh my gosh, it's long. So depending on the kind of answers that you want, you can restrict how much somebody can type. Now, suppose here I put maximum character and I can choose the number. Let's say I'm allowing them 100 characters. Here where it says some error text, you will put what you want to be there if they go against what your validation is, your response validation. So if they type in 101 characters, they will get this message. So I'm going to make it a bit shorter so we can test it. I'm going to ask you to test the form. I'm going to make it a bit shorter so we can test it. See, so I'm going to say response. Your response is too long. All right. Or if we wanted them to be exact and no, we can say your response. Let me see how long it allows us. Your response has exceeded character limit of, or I should say character maximum of 10. In this case, I'm just putting 10 so that you can test it easily, so that you can see what response comes up, all right? So yes, and I could say that it's too long. All right, so that's my question there. And then what else did the feedback said? How relevant? So you get the idea. You get the idea. So this would be what kind of question? Question type. How relevant and useful were topics discussed? What kind of question type is this? You should all know by now. Just tell me the letter. You should all know by now. Remember the letters are S, E, M, C, D. So short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, drop down. What are they? Yes, you know by now. I see short answer. Guess what? How many answers do you see here? You see more than one? And do you see a possible answer? Once you see a possible answer, it can't be short answer, because short answer is allowing the attendee to enter something. But you notice that they're giving them choices. So once you see choices given, it's either multiple choice or checkbox, all right, depending on what is asked. So it would be multiple choice. It would be multiple choice. Or Deborah was saying it could be drop down. Yes, it could be drop down. All right. So it says how useful. So I'm just going to drop this in quickly. And then here it says very relevant. All right, very relevant. This one here, you notice it's not filling it in for me this time because I actually had other stuff there. But we can just copy it from where we got the answers from our AI tool. We can just copy and paste and set up our form as we need to, or there are other ways to be more efficient, but we're just looking on the simplicity of it right now. I see that I have the somewhat relevant, irrelevant, all right? And that's one. So I'm going to leave those for now. Now, these are our questions that we have put for feedback. Notice that we have our required question by turning this on. Now, I just want to show you that you notice that there is no validation for the multiple choice. Who can tell me why? Why doesn't it allow me, just like for this one? All right, it shifted my thing. You can actually move your question. So let me just position on these little dots right here where you see turn into a four-way arrow. You can move your question. You can shift them up. All right, so I'm just dragging my question to be where it needs to be. Why doesn't it allow me to see a data validation, response validation for this one right here, for the multiple choices? Why don't I get that option when I click the three dots? Notice it says description, shuffle order. So shuffle order, whatever. Why doesn't it allow me to see, as I can right here, a response validation? Let me see who knows. They can only choose one choice. Yes, that's part of it. But say it in another way, Michelle. Because no one can type. They're not allowed to type in anything. They can't type in anything. So they aren't restricted to a character. There's no validation. There's nothing that you can, the answer is already pre-done. All right. So they aren't allowed to give an input. Response validation can only be valid for the actual user input that they type in. So you're not going to have it for multiple choice, drop down. You're going to only have it for responses that the user actually types in. So I just want to make that clear. All right. So you have your form created and everything like that. How do you share it with persons to be able to answer the questions? You simply go to send. You go to send. And then remember, this is a universal link icon. So you come here where it says link if you want to share a link with people. Now it generates this really, really long link. But if you don't want this long link, you can shorten it and then click copy and share the form. So I'm going to share this with you now and ask for those who are able to participate. Enter something real quick. Enter something real quick. Now you notice that my validation, I put a ridiculous validation that's really short. So I want you to test and see if you try to type more than 10 characters, what happened? Are you getting the message? And so on. So I want you to test it out. Now look what we have right here. Notice here it says responses. You are able to see the person's responses right here, but notice that it doesn't have any. But for those who are going to participate in what I'm doing now, I should see responses come up quite quickly. So I have one. Yay! Who is the first person? Second person. All right. Perfect. Thank you. So we see, thank you guys. Thank you. So we see a lot of responses coming in. Notice it says 6 right now, 7. All right. So there are different ways you can view your responses. So notice here now that we have a summary option. So before, remember, you weren't even seeing anything here, but now we have a summary option. And what the summary option does is allow you to be able to create a graphical representation of certain questions. So multiple choice questions allow you to be able to show a pie chart of the data. Notice that with this one now, when we asked about which session did you find most impactful and why, notice that the summary here just shows the words. They're not showing you anything in any graphical representation. So multiple choice questions allow you to be able to do graphs. So if you know the type of data you want, try to put it, and you know you want to have graphical representations of them, create it for you automatically. Create questions in a way that you are able to create graphs from them using Google Forms. So as I said, not all kinds of form questions will allow you to be able to have a graphical representation. So who got the message? Who got that validation message? So Rhonda, you're saying as part of the question, can a list of sessions be displayed? Yes, we could have added other text to it to give persons an idea of what session. So they would be able to select the session, but we'd have to ask for the text part of it somewhere else. So we could have a checkbox, Rhonda, that gave each session, remember there were 5 sessions, so we could have a checkbox answer, a checkbox question, and then another question that asks for feedback. So let me show you. Now, if I'm going to make adjustments to this form while you're working on it, it may act wonky, but I'm going to ask for you to stop the feedback in the meantime. So thank you. 9 responses is good. I can work with the 9 responses. So to get back to your questions, to make adjustments, you just go back to questions. And Rhonda is asking, could you have included the sessions? Could you have included the sessions? And we could have done so in another question, or we could have done so in the same question. It depends on how you want to list things. So if you want the user to be able to check off and say, yes, I like session 1, 2, 3, if it was like a checkbox kind of thing, you could have broken this particular question into 2 and then get the most impactful and most insightful in another question. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I could break this question into 2. I could say, which session did you find most impactful? So which session did you find most impactful? All right. So I'm taking out this part of it. I can change this to a checkbox because guess what? Could you have found more than one session impactful? Could you? And in this case, a lot of people would put like sessions like this in quotation, in brackets. Right? Put the S there. So which session or sessions did you? Yes? Okay. So what I would do here, I would have session 1 and I could put the name of session 1, time's sake, I'm not going to do that, but you get the idea. Remember that each session had a name. One was about the favorite AI tools, tips, and all those good stuff, and case study. But here I'm just going to so we could have a question like this. So you organize your form or whatever you're trying to get feedback on however you want. All right, so look at the checkbox now. So you notice that with the checkbox, I don't have any, well, I do have a response validation here, but let's see what it says right here. Oh, the reason I do have a response validation, there's an other option. So that's why it gave me that option there. So if they don't want to choose one of these, what else would you say? You know, but we're not going to have any other option. We're going to take out that. All right. So we're not having response validation for this. But it allows me for this because there's an other option. For multiple choice, there's no other option for the person to be able to write in anything. And here now I have, which session did you find helpful? So we could change this now to say, why? Why did you find the session? All right. So you arrange it how you want. Why did you find the session impactful? All right. Leave it at that. You can change that up like this. Can skip logic be added in your Google survey form? Yes. If skip logic, you mean if you are able to set up sections, and based on what the responses are for certain sections, it will lead a client, as the person, to another section. Yes. So you can do that. All right. So we have added these different things here. And let me put the validation here for 100. I saw some people say that they got the validation. Who said they got the validation message? Yes? Michelle, you got the validation message. Good. All right. Now, thank you for those who responded. Now, if you want to see the responses, as I said, you come here. So you have summary. So you're able to see in a graphical representation for like the multiple choice. Notice now that this has changed because I changed the type of question. So with checkboxes, it will show you like what you call this kind of chart again? Bar chart. It will show you like a bar chart. That's what checkboxes does. All right. So checkboxes and the multiple choice, you're able to get graphical representation of those. And to see the individual question answered, this is the first person. Well, I didn't put any name. So you have, they're saying excellent. This wouldn't have any answer because by the time I change this question, nobody answered. And all this right here, that's the first one. So you notice that the responses are there, so on and so on. Now, if you want to see the responses in a sheet, you are able to link your forms to a sheet. So you go to link to sheet and you would leave it on create a sheet, create a new sheet, and you go to create. So you will see all of your responses right here shown for you. All right. All the responses are here so that you are able to look and see what's going on. So you'll see the time the response came in, and it has the headings as the questions, and then the responses are below. So it looks just like a Google Sheet, and you're able to arrange accordingly. And this sheet automatically updates once you complete the form. So I'm going to share the form link again and just ask somebody to randomly put in a question so I can show you the update right away. Somebody type in something for me. I'm going to share it. Questions, the type of questions that you want, and you're able to make them a required question if needed. So see what happened? Thank you for the person who filled this in. It dropped in. Now notice that for the checkbox, it's going to put multiple answers in the column. All right, multiple answers in the column. Notice? So some person says session 1, 2, session 2, 5, session 1, 4. All right? All right, Sean. Remember to get the replay posted in the group, sent via email, LearningTube replay page, and the YouTube channel, right? So we looked at response validation right there. Corinne brought up about skip logic that allows you to do what we call section-based navigation. So with your form itself, you're able to break it into different sections and let persons fill out according to their section or whatever they have answered. So let's say we have, where am I? Questions. All right, so I'm going back to questions. So let's say I have a particular part right here, and I want to add a section. This allows me to add a section. So see here, section, add a section. So what happens here is that I can decide that based on a particular response that's going on here, where it would take them to do something else. So based on them entering certain things, you have different options that are allowed for you to choose. So this is section 2. So we see that this extra part comes up. So it says after section 1, where you want them to go. Continue to next section. Suppose I put up another section. Let me come and put another section right here. So with trial and error, you can test out these different things. I'm just showing you that once we add more sections, we see different things. Now you can name your section so that you're not confused. So let's say I call this, let me come back up here. Let's say I call this section 2. So you're not just seeing untitled. I suppose it's section 2 and it's asking for specific feedback. So let's say I'm calling this session feedback. Which session did they find, whatever, right? And then this one now is relevance feedback. I can say relevance feedback. This part can be a little bit confusing if you're not paying attention to what's going on with your form. So with trial and error, you can test out your form to see what's going on. You may say, how do I test my form? You can come here to preview and you can see the form displayed here for you where you can test it out. Now notice that for those who were filling out the form previously, it doesn't show the form as a whole anymore because I've added a section to it. All right, so based on me filling out this now, suppose I say it was excellent, I can click next and it's taking me to the session feedback. So I check and I say why it was impactful because it learned new things. Then I click next. It takes me here now. I can say very relevant, and then I can submit my form. So you can decide how you want to set up the various sections, but notice it doesn't show you as a whole anymore because I've broken it down into sections. So let's see. All right, so Anna Marie, you said I've never used the 3 dots before, so you're going to start using it today. Jane, you're saying, why was Alicia's presentation so valuable? All right, so you're saying, are you asking or telling me that there should be something to correct? You're saying to put it, word the question in a different way? Is that what you're saying, Jane? Not sure. All right, so when I was showing you here now, let me go back here, is that it says after section 1, I can decide, all right, based on when they put in something here, I can say it's going to take me straight to the relevance feedback, right? Relevance feedback. So let me show you how that works. So you see, it does something different. So let's say I put in good. Next, notice it goes to section 3. It didn't take me to section 2. Do you see? So you can decide based on the different sections that you have set up, how you want things to operate with your form. Obviously, you'd work out and say, what do I want to do? How do I want to plan this out? And then you do the questions accordingly. All right, so, all right, Corinne. So that's how you would do the section. Now, sections is a feature that a lot of people are not using in Google Forms. So the first feature, let me see who's paying attention. Which is the first feature I say a lot of people are not using? The secret feature. Not that it's secret to everybody, but some people said they didn't even click on the 3 dots. So which one was the first one I showed you? Let me see if you're keeping track. Response validation. Perfect. Corinne, you're always on the ball. And then the other one I just showed you. Section-based navigation. So we see that based on what you, different things that you answer, you can decide where do you want it to take you next. So we have the response validation, as I said before, and we have section-based navigation. I hope you're not hearing that background noise. There seems to be a car going off somewhere. near me. So I hope you're not hearing that beeping in the background. All right, sounds fine. Good. So we looked at response validation, section-based navigation. And another one that we're going to look at is that you are also, and my dogs wanted to join in because they're hearing the noise. You're also able to allow persons to upload. You can upload, let me go back here, come out of the form thing. All right, so let me go to this kind of question. You're also able to allow persons to be able to upload particular files, and you saw it here. So let's say you wanted an image or an audio file, or you want something particular to be sent to you. You can get it via the form. So if you want to receive information other than text, you can receive video, you can receive audio, depending on what you need. So if I use file upload here, notice that it says files will be uploaded to the form owner's Google Drive. So if it's your Google Drive, you want to make sure you have enough space to be able to save these files. And then it says respondents will be required to sign into Google when the file questions are added. So you would have to be able to sign into Google to be able to do the file upload. All right. Okay, Jane. So Alisa's presentation was most valuable because of her clear illustrations. And as a new writer to AI, I felt more confident since listening. Great. Thank you so much, Jane. Definitely true words right there. All right. So file upload. Who has used that feature to receive files from persons if you're issuing a form? Have you ever used it to receive files like an image or a video, audio, and so on? No? Yes? So you can test it out if you haven't done it. File upload is one. But you have to make sure that your Google Drive has a space because the files are being stored on your Google Drive. Now, this is one I know a lot of people are not using this particular one. A lot of people are not using this particular feature, this secret. So I'm going to open a new form just to show it to you in a better way. So new form. So let's say now I have this form for contact information. All right, contact information. So we know that a description is needed. So you know that what you put for there. So I'm gonna have last name, and I'm gonna duplicate, and I'm gonna change this to first name. Remember, you want to make certain fields required, certain questions required. So I'm gonna turn on this. And there's another section that you can go where you don't have to keep on making it required. You can actually decide to, let me see, am I seeing it here? No, I'm not seeing it right there. But you turn on the required right here. And then another one that we could have is email, address. All right, notice that what the question is doing for me chose the type of question by default based on what it saw me ask. So remember I tell you that the form is smart, it's working out certain things, so bear that in mind. And then here I can choose language, and then I'm gonna put the checkbox, not checkbox, I'm gonna choose checkboxes, and I'm gonna put French, Spanish. So based on this, what happens? Can the person choose more than one? All right, and all right, let's leave it at that. All right, now you have something called get pre-filled link. All right, so let me show you. Get pre-filled link. So when I click on that, I can choose, all right, I want to have certain responses automatically checked or chosen. So let's say I'm giving out this form. Ignore this, it's not supposed to be there. And I know that everybody's an English speaker, but they may speak other languages. I could leave this one checked. So when I share the link, I'm gonna click get link. And when I share the link with others, look what's gonna happen. It's gonna automatically have, what happened there? Let me go back here, get link. I think I already have, oh, sorry. That should be copy link. Sorry about that. So copy the link. I'm going to come here and then it's going to show me the form and look what happens. This particular question is pre-filled. So there are certain responses that you know that your clients or whoever you're sending it to will have, and you can just right away just have those pre-filled so they don't have to waste time filling those out. So you would share the pre-filled form link. Now, please tell me who has used that, because I doubt that a lot of persons have used the pre-filling. So you can make some of your form responses already in so that persons are able to not have to fill out that question. It's already filled in for them. All right. So yes, Jane, if you have the chat up, you're not going to see the screen. So you have to, if you're using a mobile, sometimes that happens. If you're using a desktop, you shouldn't have that issue though. Remember, the replay will be available, so you'll be able to see. So Natalie, you have not used it. Anne-Marie, you have not used it. So that's the get pre-filled. So picture that your form has like 10 questions and maybe 3 of the questions, you know, that would be the response for users. You can pre-fill it so that they don't have to. All right. So they can actually have it up and running already. Okay. All right, so check that option out and see how it works out for you. I think that is a time saver to be able to have certain things already filled out so as not to have persons have to spend time with it. It's feedback that you do want to have as part of your form data. So that's the reason for including the question. All right, so definitely make sure you have that one. Now, the 2 last things that we're going to be looking on are the ones that a lot of people may not be using a form for, and that's for creating quizzes. So did you know that your form can be used for creating quizzes? I know that some people may know already, but your form can be used to create a quiz and also for it to automatically grade your quiz. All right, so people who are in the education field, if you want to test your employees to see if they have understood training material, this is a great way to do it. So you can come up with a mini quiz. We know that we can ask ChatGPT. We know that ChatGPT is always there to be able to answer our questions. So let's say we ask ChatGPT to create a quiz for us. All right. So to create, well, for time's sake, I'm just going to put 3 questions. Create a 3-question quiz all about the using computer efficiently. All right, making it simple, making it simple. And it's a 3-question multiple choice quiz. All right, multiple choice quiz to make it easier. All right, so let's see. So it's telling us which of the following is a common shortcut to quickly switch between open applications on a Windows computer. Who knew this? Yep. Who knows the answer to this? And if you don't know the answer, you can tell ChatGPT include answers to questions. All right. Perfect. Math Patty, you're right. Alt tab. All right. So you can include the question, the answers to the question. So let's see what it did right here. Let me see. Okay, good. So let's just drop this in a quiz real quick. So I'm going to drag off so I can see what I'm doing right here. And I'm going to create a new form. As I said, there are other ways that you can be more efficient with this, but we're keeping it simple, not trying to overcomplicate things for you, just learning about this. All right, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to drop it over here. It's question 1. And then we want it to be multiple choice. So we're going to come here. Notice that it automatically did it for me. Automatically knew something about multiple choice because of how it saw the question. I'm going to set it up real quick and drop in all of the others. Let me know if you have found this session helpful before. Are you learning things about forms that you did not know? Are you learning things about forms that you did not know? Or all of what I'm going through here you knew already? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Oh, I put it for the wrong thing. I put it for the description by accident. All right. So this is about, this quiz is to test your knowledge on computer usage. All right, let's leave it at that. All right. Okay, perfect, perfect. Love to hear that. All right, so I'm gonna drop in the other question. So this is question 2. Dropping it in right here. Oops. Come right here. I'm gonna copy. Okay, thanks for the feedback, guys. What I could have done to get that feedback without asking you to put it in the chat. We know already. How could I have gotten feedback from you? I could have dropped the form and gotten that feedback quite easily. All right, so utilize the free things that are out there for you to use to be more efficient. All right, I'm dropping in these questions right here. And that's my question. And then the last one now, question 3. Dropping in question 3 right here. Okay, question 3. And the answers right here. So I'm creating the quiz. I'm going to show you how you can make this into a quiz. Right now it's just regular questions being asked, but how can you make it into a quiz that Google form is going to actually mark the answers for you? All right. Okay. All right. Okay, Denise. It will be available. Okay, so we're going to turn it into a quiz. So I'm going to put my titles. I'm going to have my computer efficiency. Remember, this exercise is not exhausting all you can do in Google Form. I'm just talking about some features that a lot of persons may not be using, the secrets, Google secrets, and features that you may not be using in Google Forms. As Natalie has said right here. Let me scroll up to see what you said. Wow, I learned 4 new things. Thought I knew Google Forms well. So sometimes we use these applications all the time, and that there are just certain features that we just don't get to. We don't get to these features at all. So Jane, you're not seeing right now, we can catch the replay, all right? And catch the replay. I see Corinne trying to help you here, but if you're not able to find it easily during the time limit that we have now, the replay is going to be available for you to check it out, all right? Okay, so here we have our form. So we're going to quickly go to, let me move my Zoom toolbar out the way and my chat box. If I can find it. Where am I? Why am I not finding what I think I'm supposed to be finding? Okay, let's see. I'm looking in the wrong place, guys. So I'm going to go to settings. And in settings, it says, make this a quiz. So it says assign point values, set answers, and automatically provide feedback. So if I turn this on, it's going to give me the option to turn what I just did into a quiz. So there are other options that came up, you saw? So when I turn this on, look and see all the things that come up. Watch closely. So here it says, immediately after each submission, release the grades. Is that what you want? Or you want a later or after manual review? So we want the first one, release the grades. Here it says, missed questions. You want it to turn on so that they can see which ones are missed? Yes. Correct answers? Yes, we want it on. Point value? Yes, we want it on. Okay, so you can decide what you want on or off, but I want it on for this example. And here it says default question point value, and I'm going to make it 1 point. Or you could leave it blank if you didn't want it. So you have that option. It says responses. How many responses are collected and protected? So you can go through all of this and all of this, all of this. Limit to 1 response. You can turn that on, meaning that the person can only respond 1 time, or you can leave it off. All right, because remember, you will see that they answered more than once. So they won't be able to delete it. They'll be able to do the test more than once. That's basically what this is saying. So let's go back to our questions. And this is what happens now when we click on the form. Notice that there's another option that comes up that says answer key. So remember, we asked ChatGPT to give us the answer key. So for question 1, the answer is B. So you go back now, and for answer key, you're going to check B. So you're going to click answer key. You're going to click the answer key and check B, and then you can assign the point. Even though we have put a default, it may not put it in. So you can assign the point and click done. So you would click answer key, and then you would put in the answer itself. Now, another feature that some people may not use is that there is an answer feedback. So you can also put written text. Other than choosing from the multiple choice, you can put written text. So suppose I wanted to say something here in answer feedback. I could put that if the answer is incorrect, maybe I could let them know, hey, you can check out XYZ for more information if it's incorrect. And for correct, I could put something. So I could say for incorrect, please check back chapter 4 or whatever. Or I could put a link itself. All right, so I could highlight this. I could put right here and put a link to chapter 4. If I had chapter 4, you get it. I just want to show you that there are options. All right. And if the question was correct, I could put another message too. So you can decide how you want to do it. So we're going to quickly go through and put in the answer. So what was the answer for this one? ChatGPT told us that the answer is C. So we click answer key and click C, and then you put in your points. As simple as that, guys. So you go through, put in your point, click done. So you go through each question, click it, click answer key, and put what the answer is. In this case, the answer is C, and you put in your point and click done. So once you're done with all of that, your quiz is done. So you simply, just like we did a while ago, you're going to share the link to your quiz so persons are able to answer the questions. I'm going to share this with you right now. So remember, we go to send, and then here we choose the link, and we shorten the link. So if I copy this to you now, if you click on it, this is what it's going to look like for you. Let me go to the preview part. So Heather, you say I have to practice using Google tool as I'm more familiar with Microsoft. Yes, similar, but just different application. All right. So in the preview section, this is what it's going to look like. So this is what it looks like for you when you click on it. So it's going to ask, and by the way, if you're given this quiz, you'd want the person's name on it because you want to know who got what answer. All right. It's always good to have the name. So the person would go through now and do the quiz. So I'm just going to put in random answers and see what I get. And I submit. And it says here, view my score. So I can come here, click view score, and it's going to show me which ones I got wrong, what the answer is. And here, this one had a feedback on it. So it told me to please check back chapter 4. And my points are here. Yes, Patty, we're twins. And my points are here. I got 1 out of 3 correct. All right, so fast way to get your quiz done, right? Wasn't that easy? Obviously, it took some, doing, but it's simple to do. And the best part, guess what? All that was free. So once you set it up and you just share the link, if you're a teacher or anything that you want to be able to grade automatically right away, we know what the person got without you doing anything at all. Quite simple and easy. So Heather, you're saying just last night I was trying this tool. Ah, wow, we're on the same page, right? So quick. And the last one we're going to look at, remember, we're looking at features, secrets that people don't use with Google. And the last one is called add-ons. Now you hear me talk about extensions? Add-ons are like extensions. They add functionality to your Google applications, and Google Forms have add-ons. So then before I forget, let me share this in the chat with you if I can find it. All right, so this is a link that I'm going to share with you, and it's talking about 16 add-ons you can use and try. So I'm going to show you how you get the add-ons. So 16 add-ons to try for 2024. All right, that's what this is. Add-ons to try, Google Form. Add-ons. That's what they are. 16 add-ons. Now, where do you find these add-ons? They're going to go to your form area. Doesn't matter the form. I'm going to click on this option right here, the 3 dots. And then you're going to go to add-ons, get add-ons. So here you can search for the add-on if you know the name of the add-on. Yes? Or you can type in forms and press enter. What that does allows you here to get this option here that shows you how you can search for the forms you want, and you want to search for forms that work with Google, not for forms, search for add-ons that work with Google Forms. So you check this, click done, and it's only going to show you add-ons that work with Google Forms. So with that link that I shared with you, you're going to go through and see the different kind of form add-ons and see which one you want to try. Now, what you would do is that you'd go to the add-on. So let me see. Let me go to the article. So let's say you want to try a particular add-on. So this one is called Form Publisher. So I'm going to click it. No, it's not in the Play Store. It's not in the Play Store. All right. But you get the option to install it. You have to have the link to it's in the Google add-on area store. Not sure where they call it, what the store is, but that's all of them are right there. And you usually see an install option for the add-on. So when you come here, it tells you a little about the add-on. Well, this says, Patty, that it's in Google Workspace Marketplace. So who knows where that is? Let's open the tab. Because I've never really thought about exactly where is it. So thank you, Patty, for letting me think about that. I didn't. So here are all of them in the workspacegoogle.com marketplace. All right, Patty? Thank you, Patty. All right, so that's where you can find them. And you see, you can search for which ones work with whatever Google application that you're interested in. All right. So you will go to the add-on. Where was that add-on? And you go to install. And then it's going to go through and try to link to the Google email that you want that add-on to be associated with, because it will only be associated or accessible via that Google email. So I want to use my regular one. So I'm going to click on it. And then, it wanted to continue on terms of service and all those things. We have to allow. If we don't, we can't use it. And then it's going to come up now and maybe guide you through it if you want to go through and see how it works. And you click done. Now you may be saying, how do I find my add-on? You simply come here, back to your Google form. And there's a little icon here that looks just like your extensions icon. Remember the little puzzle box that I told, puzzle piece? It looks just like it. And when you click it, it's going to show you your add-on here. The reason we don't see it here is that I need to reload this page because this form was already open. And here it is. So you would read what the add-on is all about, click it, look and see what it is all about, what options it has, and etc. There's one called Booking Calendar, which it's supposed to be allowing you to be able to allow people to book your calendar through the Google form. So when you open it, it allows you different options. Some of them are not completely free. You explore and see what it's all about and see which one you like best. All right. So just to do a quick recap of some of the secrets. Remember, it's the Google Form secrets, features you've never used before. So I'm going to go through them and you tell me which one of these have you never used before. So the response validation, yes or no. So yes would be you have used it before. No, you never used it before. So response validation was the first one. So yes or no, Y or N. And then the other one was a sectioning, when you can do a section-based navigation. Remember when you set up the sections for the form? So yes or no. And then file upload. You can upload an audio, video, but you have to choose that particular option in the question. And we looked at pre-filled links, allowing persons to be able to have certain questions already answered for them so they don't have to take up time doing what they need to. And the last two were quiz and add-ons. All right, quiz and add-ons. So I see a lot of yes, I see a lot of no's, but I hope that most of them were no, so that you learned something new in this session and got value from it. All right, so make sure that you test these out when you watch the replay, check them out. The links that were shared will be included with the replay. What link did we share? We shared did we share the links in this session, guys? I don't even remember. But remember to check out the replay so that you can rewatch and see anything you may. Oh, I did share a link. The link that I shared for the website that told us about the 16 Google form add-ons that you can use. Check that out so that you're able to test them. All right. Yes, the blog and the add-on. Thank you, Corinne. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on another Learning Tube session. Remember, these sessions are every Thursday at 1 p.m. All right. So check out the replay. It will be sent via email as well as posted in the Facebook group on the Learning Tube replay page. And also, it will be posted on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.